Our next guests are just a couple of good old boys, and you may remember them from Dukes of Hazzard. But these days, they're not making moonshine. They're making sweet music.
Here to talk about their new holiday album, Home for Christmas, are the original stars of TV's The Dukes of Hazzard, John Schneider and Tom Wopat.
Wow.
Welcome to Arise.
Well, thank you.
This is a treat. Do you hear that? The crew's already clapping.
It's so great. So great to hear you talk about watching a show on Friday night.
Absolutely. As a little boy, come on, I didn't have a life. I wanted to be home watching the two of you and Daisy Duke.
Fantastic. Of course,
it was all about Daisy for me. I had a Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox.
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah,
My
sure
daughter
did.
had one she took to Harvard, used as a purse at Harvard, yes.
My dad took his lunch to work for 30 years in his Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox. So yeah, pretty
We
cool.
could get some eBay action going on if we do a collection.
It has a thermos in it. It's worth a couple $100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Without the thermos, not so much.
If it still has a sandwich in it, never mind.
And it's mine.
It's a problem.
So we did this Christmas album, which is right there. So cool.
Well, that's
And it's right here.
Let's talk about you all being friends for, what, 35, 36 years?
36 years since we met in 1978. Yeah, we've been great friends.
How have you maintained the friendship for so long?
Separate bathrooms.
There you go.
We live on separate coasts for a while.
Well,
but,
that'll do it.
we definitely have chemistry. And in working on the show that we worked on, there was so much improvisation and so much of it was so loosely done that,
much time in the car.
We figured it was better to have fun than to make it work. And
Well,
we definitely had fun.
Have you been singing Christmas carols off the record for all these years and then just decided to put it on the record? Or
We've been singing, but not Christmas
Both of us
carols.
have had recording careers.
Well, what inspired this project?
Well, I started doing standards about 15 years ago when I was doing Annie Get Your Gun with Bernadette.
Excellent work. I saw you in there.
Great actress,
Absolutely.
fine singer, terrific kisser.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Do tell.
Anyway, so they asked me if I wanted to make a jazz record, and I said, well, sure. And the first one was The Still of the Night.
Yes.
And I've made 3 solo albums since then, and I've always thought that it would be fun to work with John.
Yeah.
And a Christmas
What do you
record
think
just
now?
made sense. Oh, you big love.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, we had a blast. We got some really nice material. We got the best musicians in New York City, and it swings hard.
Played at Joe's Pub night before last.
There's some funny stuff on there. There's also some really poignant stuff as well.
How did you go about narrowing down the songs that you would choose for the album?
I worked with my producer, David Fink,
Okay.
and he's a jazz guy, and he's very hooked into that scene. So there's songs in there like Cool Yule. Do you know the Louis Armstrong?
Oh,
It was written by Steve Allen
Yes.
years ago. And then there's a song by Bob Dorough called Blue Xmas. That's really kind of a dark take on Christmas, but he recorded it with Miles Davis. And so those are kind of off the beaten path kind of things. But there's standards on there as well.
What's your favorite?
Yeah.
I like Sleigh Ride.
Oh, that's a
I like
great
Sleigh
one.
Ride.
I like Sleigh Ride a lot. Let me think.
The arrangement on Sleigh
I
Ride
like
is
Johnny,
great.
It's Cold Outside.
Well, yeah.
We did a take on Baby It's Cold
Yes.
Outside with
We did.
He's Baby.
I
As far
like
as I know, the only male-on-male Johnny.
I'm just saying, why are they looking at me? Why are they looking at me? Why are they looking at me?
You guys are such a great bromance. I like that.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
We're fortunate.
We were way ahead of our time.
Well, let's talk about being ahead of your time. You know, we were introduced to you one way, by way of the Dukes of Hazzard,
Right.
but music has been a part of both of your backgrounds.
sure, yeah.
Talk about the beginnings of you and music, each of you.
Well, we both did musical theater way
There you
back
Gotcha.
when. The first show I did was Mikado, and then went on to Fiddler on the Roof and Music Man. And actually, we've done several of the same shows, just not at the same time.
Nice.
Will Rogers Follies, you just did.
Yep.
right?
Same characters? Each?
Yeah, Will
Actually,
Rogers.
the
yeah.
first time I
Yeah.
sang in public was about 3 years before he was born. In 2nd grade, when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
I sang Daisy,
remember your
Daisy
first
with a girl on my lap. You know,
And you were
Daisy, Daisy. Yeah.
And you remember,
Wow.
you remember that?
Oh,
That's like-
sure, I
that's the
definitely
moment.
do. And I had great school teachers all through my schooling, and they really mentored me and taught me everything. It was
I'm
great.
glad you said that, because Mr. Tom King, when I was in high school, was the guy that in 9th grade he gave me the lead in Fiddler on the Roof because I was the right guy.
Yes.
Tevye. And
So-
doesn't he look Jewish?
Not quite.
Wow. If I were a rich man. But it's so important. So if kids are watching this, I want you to embrace your teachers. And if you're a teacher and you're feeling like maybe your pay scale does not appreciate what you do, I guarantee you that the kids will appreciate what you do if you keep doing it. If you have a love for literature, teach those kids your love for literature. Love for music, same thing. Teachers are vitally
As a
important.
child, I had a love of the Dukes of Hazzards.
Yeah.
Tell me how the Dukes of Hazzards changed your life. You know, because that was really like the big
Oh, it was
break.
huge.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Oh, yeah, it opened every door in Hollywood and built a brick wall right there in the middle of it.
Oh, wait a minute. Do tell.
You mentioned that last time you were here.
Like typecasting?
Why do you think that was
Well,
the
people have a
case?
certain perception of who you are and what you can do, which, you know, I'm sure that I have that prejudice as well.
Yes.
So it's enabled, everybody wants to see me like everybody wants to see the wreck on the side of the road, but then you have to prove it that you're not who they think you are.
Yes.
Which are the haves and have-nots came out of it.
And
It's just
successfully
like-
so.
Did you
Yes,
have a
I love that.
similar-
Thank you.
Some. I mean, I had been
Did you
on
have a
Broadway.
similar experience?
I'd been on Broadway before I did Dukes. So I was pretty much welcomed back here.
was bona fide.
They knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But also, you know, the thing about it is that when we get up on stage, I mean, there's a certain percentage of people that are there to see Bo and Luke.
Yeah.
But by the time we're done singing, they're not really that's not what it's about. It's about Tom
No,
and John,
they've
and it's
seen
about
Tom
the
and John.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
I
you
have
speak
to
to
ask you about
Yes.
a Dukes of Hazzards reunion. Could that be happening anytime soon?
We did a couple.
We did, and they were pretty darn good. First one I thought was really good.
Yeah, second one was bizarre.
The movie that they did, I think, might be the
With,
final
Jessica
nail,
coffin.
cinematic coffin.
I get it.
Yeah,
The nail.
which is too bad.
We don't have time to talk about it, but you were so amazing in Trip to Bountiful. How
Oh,
was it
hurry
working
up.
with Cicely Tyson?
It was terrific working with her. She's a trip, and just full on. We had not really much of a relationship off stage, but on stage it was magic. And it was just, that's the way it was.
Exactly the opposite of our relationship.
I love
On
it.
stage, not so much.
No, you guys have the best bromance in the business.
Thank
you
you.
so much for being here.
But thanks for having
romance
us.
in the business.
Yes,
I
you
like
do.
that.
Come again anytime.
Get a
gonna
hold
be
of
the
this,
subtitle.
iTunes, get a hold of it at Amazon, and it's a wonderful Christmas present, by the way. If you like Christmas music, you'll love this.
Do you want to sing us to break?
And you'll have a sip when old Saint Nick blows a lick on a peppermint stick. There's no harmony there. We'll come a-calling from a higher place.
Fill the stocking with the fireplace so
And
you'll
have a Yule that's cool. Ah, yes, you have a Yule that's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Not bad. Thank you so
I love
much.
that lilt. I hear that.
picked a high key.
Lilt in
And
there.
you're
That's
watching.
great.
Yeah, you got it. We'll keep the party going. And while we're
tenors.
singing, we'll be right back. You're watching Arise Entertainment 360. Yeah.